All right, everybody, I want to thank you for joining today's session. This is part of our series, Tuesdays with Monday, where we here at Purple Plum take a little bit of a deeper dive into some of the other areas of how Monday.com serves our clients. And we want to share a few bite-sized scenarios that really make this Monday.com environment, this world that we all live in, so powerful and so meaningful. Today, I'm joined by my colleague and our guest, our strategic account manager here at Purple Plum, Naya Wardlaw. We have actually a special treat in having Naya join us because she will truly show you that she is a former teacher, a former school principal, and provide what we all at Purple Plum really subscribe to, which is we serve with the heart of a teacher. And so as we go through today's material, I think you'll find very quickly that Naya brings a level of insight and instruction to the world that we're all entering into so that you'll have a really fantastic and strong presentation today. Myself, Mark Yaschik, I'm a former realtor and a former technology trainer for one of the largest real estate franchises in Florida. And I share that simply to say that I, along with the rest of my colleagues, we understand the business that you're in, how hectic it can be, how many competing priorities that you're dealing with all the time. And so with the solutions that we've put in place and what we'll be presenting specifically today, allows us to take the realities of your life and create something that is allows you to run your businesses more efficiently and with a stronger purpose. Now, we are going to be talking about real estate significantly throughout this presentation. However, we work with many other industries, including marketing firms, restaurants, franchises, mom and pop stores of all sorts of different backgrounds, as well as some rather significant corporate clients. So when it comes to reviewing this presentation, especially if you're doing so in the future, what I'll share with you is we're always eager and open to understanding what your needs might be and custom tailoring a solution to wrap around that. Now, the focus of this session here is going to be very traditional for this presentation. We're going to be talking about our topic here, streamlining your CRE or commercial real estate acquisitions from lead to close with Monday.com with a special touch of AI built into it. What I will tell you is clients come to Purple Plum typically in one of two scenarios. Either they're just getting started with Monday, they're looking for a great partner that brings experience and expertise to the table, or many of our clients, probably about 50% right down the middle, come to us when they've been using Monday for a period of time and they've hit that wall, right? They know that there's more that they can do. They know that there's more value that Monday can bring to them, and they just don't want to invest the time to become an expert and see the value in working with a group that has the expertise to make this a very valuable engagement for them. And so a little bit about our company. Yes, as I mentioned, we have a heavy focus on the real estate space. However, again, a number of different areas that I have highlighted here. A couple of call outs that I would bring is 6 years of dedicated experience with Monday.com, and we're 100% focused on implementing Monday.com. And the value that brings here is that with our focus and with the degree and level of expertise that we bring, we are really truly able to bring out new opportunities where, as the common saying goes, right, the individual pieces are worth more than the sum, right? The sum is worth more than the individual pieces here. In the course of this conversation, there's going to be kind of three main areas that we'll be focusing on, and that is through the CRM, the transaction management, and even the property management side of things. However, as you can see, there are so many different scenarios and use cases where a business can really rely on Monday. And what I would specifically point out here is these are not individual columns. These are not just one-offs, but many businesses are run throughout Monday in a whole number of different ways, not just for one specific need. At the same time, who benefits from Monday? Same conversation. There's not just one person or one group or division within your company, but really a focus on everything from some examples here, the underwriting team, legal and compliance, or even an acquisition or property manager. And you can see there's a number of different scenarios that we put on here, but what we hear time and time again is what Monday relieves is where there's not clarity, right? So this is, we have projects. It's hard to track where deals are and what stage. There's perhaps in the past been issues with compliance or missed deadlines because again, there's not that clarity and not that group view on it. And as part of this, the dashboards that we put together for really all of our clients become that great view where you can have a pulse on where your business is at a very high level with the flexibility of getting very granular in your approach. Now, with that, I'm going to turn the mic over here to Naya, where we're going to be talking about how to streamline your CRE acquisitions. And I'm going to say this again, the focus on using AI becomes something that is so important because not only is Monday doubling down on their focus for AI and new features, but the end result is saving time and ensuring success for your business. So Naya is going to share a couple of thoughts right now on this slide that I have up, and then we're going to jump right into the actual demo here. So Naya, do you want to share a few thoughts on this end-to-end map that you've put together? Oh, Naya, I think you're muted. There we go.
Mark, appreciate it. Thanks, Mark, for the warm welcome, and welcome everyone to Tuesdays with Monday. As Mark said, I'm Naya, and today we really just want to focus on three areas. For one, CRE or commercial real estate can get extremely messy. And so I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I am sharing my screen now. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and hop into the demo. But CRE can get extremely messy. There are a lot of things going on, whether it be offer memos in your inbox or, updates getting buried amongst other threads in your email. There's a lot of things to keep track of and manage. And so I am very happy to be here today to show you guys how we can manage these deals and make sure that nothing falls through the crack using Monday.com. So our main focus areas are going to be one, using AI to minimize data entry through extraction. One example that we're going to use or use case is going to be extracting information from an offer memo. Number two, automated and templatized workflows. We are going to show you how to manage the due diligence process, which has a number of different elements involved, using a template. And number three, we are going to just talk about visibility. And so, of course, that is far reaching. We're going to talk about visibility in terms of dashboards and also visibility in terms of managing the RFP process. So without further ado, I am going to hop straight into the leads board. And so in this leads board, you guys will see that we have just some high level information, right? The point of contact, maybe the broker, property name, the company or the property owner, asking price, the property type or asset class, in addition to the source, market, and email. Very simple, very high level. And it is like that for a reason. For one, a lot of times we're meeting people on the fly, whether it's us trying to capture information after coming back from a site visit, or if we hear, things about an off-market property coming onto the market. These are things that we want to capture that we may not have all the information for, but we definitely want to get it in the system. So as you guys can see here, we also have we have a number of different ways that we can actually capture this information. So we can capture it in a tabular form, so kind of like, Excel, but we can also do so through a Monday form. So some of you guys I know are familiar with Monday forms, but for those of you guys who are not, Monday form is a way that we can capture lead information both internally and externally. So we can share this with brokers and investors, but we can also share it amongst our, colleagues within the organization to submit lead data. So here we have already populated information. And I wanted to just go back really quickly to show you, I'm taking a look at this form right here that I've created. So it's actually housed within the leads board. And when you select that form, it'll bring you to this form that we have right here. So I have all my information updated. So I'm going to go ahead and select submit. And you will see how easy it is to capture that information. Here we go. Nia Wardlaw, Purple Plum Property. And just like that, we have the information. So once we've taken a look at this high level information, we can decide, of course, whether or not we would like to move forward with this property. So I'm going to take David here. David from Parkview Investors, asking price is 65,000. I'm looking for, a lot of land that meets my investment criteria. I'm going to go ahead and progress David to the next part, which is opportunities. And a few things are going to happen here. For one, David is going to move into this qualified lead area. There's also going to be a contact that is created, and there's also going to be an account that is created. And so this is kind of boring stuff here. If you guys are familiar with a Rolodex, this is just like a Rolodex for your contacts and accounts. So I am going to move forward. I've already qualified David. He is already over here. And so all of his information is populated. So I'm just going to change David back because David is in the initial review. And once you qualify someone, they will automatically land in the initial review. Well, at least according to our workflow. And that's the beauty of Monday. If you guys do things differently at your, organization, we can cater and make it to spec. So everything is flexible and robust at the same time. And so that's one of the things that I really love about Monday. So once a deal has progressed over to the opportunities board, the first thing that we want to do is upload the offer memo. This is where the magic begins to take place with the AI. So you can see over here at a glance, there are some new columns that are different from what we saw over in the leads board. Some are the same, some are different. Again, we're delving further into that property. So we can see things like the location, the expected close date, deal creation, the deal length. And now, because we've qualified the lead, we have a contact and an account that is automatically populated as well. So I'm going to go down a little bit further, and you will see that there are now some areas in which are blank. So we can use, I'm actually going to click out of that one too. We have some blank space here, and we are going to use our offer memo and AI to be able to extract that information. So I already know this is going to save a significant amount of time. Data entry, it's like one of those things. It's easy, but it's tedious and it's very time consuming. So I'm going to select this offer memorandum here, and you guys will start seeing things populate like the NOI, the cap rate, the year built, all of these different things. Sometimes it takes a little second for AI to do its thing, but it does it nonetheless. Okay. And this will populate here shortly. And while this is populating, I want to bring your attention to the deal stages. So scroll all the way over. So we first have we're in the initial review stage. And once we qualify the lead, the 5 subtasks that are associated with the initial review were automatically populated. I accidentally already selected the letter of intent status. So those tasks are also there as well. But the moral of the story is that when you progress through the deal stages and as you select a different stage, the subtask will populate here automatically. So for example, I'd like to show you guys, since the LOI is already here, I would like to show you guys what happens when we select underwriting. I'm going to do that, and you will see those subtasks populate. And what I love about Monday is that this is just one way that we could manage the task. In a second, you're going to see what happens when we begin the due diligence process. We actually manage those tasks in a different way. And I'm going to go over that in just one second. But before we navigate away from the opportunities board, I want you guys to take a look at the subtask here. Here we also have, who's responsible for the task, and also some notes just to help people along. And this is one of the things, one of the questions that I'll pose to you later, or that you may have, is like, how do we, handle the change management part of Monday? How do we get people into the system, using it, wanting to use it, and using it consistently? Having some brief instructions here or in the updates is one way that we can help facilitate change management and increase adoption. So before we navigate to the due diligence board, I also want to show you a couple of different things that I love about Monday, and that is that it is conducive to every different learner type. Mark mentioned that I'm a former principal, and so adults learn in different ways as well. So here we have, a tabular form, but Monday has different views that you can use. So I'm going to navigate over here to the pipeline view. And here you can see a Kanban. I like to call it a sticky note type of view, because I just imagine sticky notes just being in front of me with all of the information that I need. And it costs you nothing to have these different views in your board. And so you really can cater to every different learner type, everyone's different style. It's not like, there's just one manager saying, Excel, we gotta use a, Excel spreadsheet. You can really cater it to, like I said, different people, different departments. Here's just another quick view that we can take a look at here. It is grouped by the stages. And that is different from the pipeline table where we started, where it's just all kind of like a hodgepodge, kind of like a rougher categorization. So going back to our due diligence phase that ParkU Investors is now ready to progress to, I am going to change the status to due diligence. And you will see magic happen right before your eyes. And you'll see a board is generated here by way of a template. And so there it is right there. And before, well, actually, we can go into this one here, and you will see our due diligence templates. So in this due diligence templates, you see like some heavy hitters. And this is one of the reasons why I elected not to manage these tasks inside of the subtasks. I wanted to pull them out so that we can have some more space and some more ways to organize all of the different things that come along with due diligence. And so some of the items that we have here, we have a task owner. Of course, we have our um, uh, status updates that we can select. But this is like a raw template where we want to basically put everything that is static, everything that for the most part stays the same, that we can create a repeatable, templatized workflow. So then that way we're not, having to recreate the wheel or manually enter things that we can set as constants. Now, when I say set things as constant and, you know, and I say that we have static things in here, it is also flexible, and we can set automations that can pull in task owners based on the market or based on the type of due diligence task that it is, whether it be legal or risk or financial. There are a number of different ways that we can also utilize the template. But just going through it, you see here we have priority, we have also, again, some notes, and we also have document and templates to guide you through. We have an area also for completed documents. The one thing that I really like about this template is that you can easily submit or request a draft of an RFP from the legal department directly in this board. I'm going to navigate to a board that I generated a deal board that I've already been working in so that you guys can see what it looks like more fleshed out. And you're also going to now see me submit a request for an RFP. So I am going to, it's time for the roof inspection. I need to get some vendors. And so I need to ask the legal department to draft an RFP and send that out. So in order to do that, I'm just going to quickly select Click Me. And you will see here the status is going to change and to let me know it's over there, but it hasn't been started yet. And so now I will deviate to the RFP tracker. And now you can see that we have a request. So you can see that I've done this a few times. So we have our roof inspection, our completed RFP. These things are going to naturally map over. Whatever you actually want to map over can be mapped over. Again, it's according to spec, whatever it is that you would like to have happen. 9 times out of 10, we can get it done. So you'll also see the item ID and the property name, owner. You'll see here, this is why we saw the request received because it was mirrored back over. So once the legal department has completed their RFP, you guys see, I'm just using this offer memo for everything. That's my document. But that during this demo is the completed RFP. And so once that is done, we can now select vendors. And so how do we do that? We can select Click Me to add a vendor. And let's say we want to add 2 vendors. We can select Click Me again, and you will see here the sub items will populate. And I'm going to refresh. Make sure everything is working accordingly. And there it is. Now we have 2 sub items. And so we also have a vendor board, another templatized thing where we can house some static and also dynamic information. Quickly deviate to the vendor list. You see we have vendors that are grouped by different services that they provide, the Alta survey, phase 1 environmental, all of those things. Now going back to the tracker, we can submit these proposals, or not the proposals, but the request for the proposals here. And all you need to do is select a vendor. We need some roofing experts. So I'm typing in roof. I'm going to send it to Eagle Survey. You can see that the email popped up, and then all I'm going to do is select send RFP, and then you're going to see the status change back to RFP sent and the delivery date. So now Dave at Eagle Eye is going to receive the completed RFP in addition to some other information about the property. He's also going to receive a link to a form, and he's going to receive this item ID. With this information, Dave is going to come over to this Monday form that he's going to click on, and he is going to submit his proposal. So I've already put in this number, put it in there again. I knew I was going to do something different. So I put in the item ID number, contact name is Dave. We'll keep it at that for now. And I'm just going to use my email for ease, and another offer memorandum is going to be used as a template. And so now when I select submit, it is going to populate here in our RFP submissions. And it is also going to populate in our RFP tracker. We can take a look at all of the submissions that will populate here, and we can ultimately make a decision if we have more than one vendor participating. The next thing.
Let me interrupt you for just a moment, if I might. This is so cool. You have shown what I find our clients really gravitate towards, which is a solution I'll call it out of the box, because we've done the work initially here, that can be tailored to their specific workflows, their specific needs, and their their internal way of running their business and and then modify it to their needs. So what I talked so often about is the value that we bring is Purple Plum is experience and expertise. And so what we're able to do is really collaborate with our clients on a very successful and personal level because they appreciate the background that we can show them, right? This is how we've set it up as an example. Let's work together to make it personalized for you. And the side benefit is that adoption that you were referencing earlier. Because it's tailored to the colors, to the language, like very simple things, but we know that our clients and their employees really gravitate towards that. They jump right in. And it feels like home because it's a replication of those messy spreadsheets that they've been using or antiquated software. But all the power of the automations, of the AI, everything that you just brought out here, it saves so much time. And it does that other piece that we were talking about earlier, which is we don't want anything to fall through the cracks, right? When we're talking about CRE, the average deal size here is significant. And if something falls apart, the risk is, $50, $100,000 losses is nothing to sneeze at here. So I know we're coming right up against time. You're doing exactly what I was about to ask. Can we talk about the dashboards for a moment? And what I will share is, because we are running short on time, if anybody has any questions on all the great information that Naya shared, please contact us through the Q&A in the session here. But also, I'm going to put up our contact information in just a moment. We're happy to answer any questions or strategize a little bit even after this call. But please, Naya, share the details of this dashboard you brought up.
Sure. Well, first, I'd like to say this is a very high level dashboard. We can get as granular as you would like. If you collect the data, then we can display it. But here you'll see at a glance that we have an asset goal. We are more than halfway to our goal. And we have also the deals by stage here. So how many deals have been closed? How many are under contract? In underwriting, how many have been lost. Also, the cities that have served, where our lead sources are coming from, the volume closed by month, the last sales the last 90 days, and then our average deal length. This is just a few of the things that we can capture. And one of the other things I wanted to quickly show you with 1 minute left is that templates. That was my bonus tip for you guys. We
Yep,
can
it was. You
create
squeezed it in.
we can create templates, disposition templates, property performance templates where the formulas are already baked in, maintenance tracking templates. Templates galore, automations and AI galore. So I hope that you guys really got something out of this. And I would love to help you figure out how to translate your process to Monday.
I love it. I'm going to go ahead and put up my final slide here, which is, again, my contact information. Any questions that you have, any ideas on how you might want to improve your business, please let us know. Naya, it's so cool to see the level of detail, the level of automation that Monday allows for, but the usability, right? Not to reiterate everything I just said, but these tools save our clients literally hundreds of hours every single year. And some of our larger clients, we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of hours that are saved every single month in full accountability. The absolute activity log view alone, just to see what each one of your colleagues is doing. And if, oops, something doesn't go right, we can pinpoint it, not to embarrass somebody, of course, but to talk about how to operate it maybe in a more efficient way. So I want to thank everybody for taking the time. Naya, again, thank you so much for joining and hosting and sharing so much valuable information. I'll leave my contact information up for just a couple more moments. But again, thank you everybody for joining. And we look forward to the next session, which will take place in May. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, everyone.